I obsessed over building the perfect landing page, and after looking at like hundreds of different sites, I realized something strange. The websites that looked the best actually converted the worst. I did this because I've been struggling with my own projects. Resume Photo AI, Taxi Fusion, and Framia, they all need to convert. And I kept asking myself, what actually works? So I kind of went into a rabbit hole. And what I found completely changed how I think about landing pages. There were 3 patterns that I think make a huge difference how your website converts. I added those patterns to my website Resume Photo AI, and I wanted to show you like hands-on example how this could look like in the real world. When I clicked through these pages, I kept asking myself, why do some feel safe and others feel kind of sketchy? And it really came down to one word: trust. High converting landing pages don't just show you the product and how it works, they also show you who already believes in it. And this can happen in different ways. One way to do this is to have logos of the companies using your product. This can be pretty impactful if you have big companies or even people from those companies using your product. For example, on Resume, people actually signed up with their work email address. What that means is I can see from which companies they are coming from. And this is great for me because I can now say people from those companies are using my product. But what I think is even more important than that, because at the end of the day, everyone can add a bunch of logos to their website saying people are using or these companies are using your product. But honestly, even better than that is to have testimonials on your website. And this is something I have actually neglected on my products. Sure, I got a bunch of feedback when I launched a product and had my early users, but apart from that, I never really asked for a review once they have used the product. I've seen a bunch of websites with testimonials, and testimonials add a lot of trust to your overall product. Here's one I found that looks pretty clean, but it has no logos, no reviews, pretty much no proof, and I instantly feel like uneasy. Like, should I even give them my email address? I don't know. And for a pretty good example, which I think is a bit extreme, but if you look at a website like Zendesk, within the hero section, I can already see which companies are using the product, which is pretty great. But apart from that, if I scroll down a bit, I can see like direct testimonials from customer. I mean, look how early on their website they are showing real customer feedback with an image of the person, like what the role is, and you can even read the full customer story. And this builds a lot of trust pretty early on. So if we go back to the top, we see the product very shortly, and then it's pretty much all about building trust. We have testimonials here, we have the logos at the top, we have G2 reviewing their product, giving another layer of extra trust, and I'm pretty sure if we go down we will see another section of testimonials, like here you go. And this is a pattern that has kept repeating on other sites as well. Of course, these are big brands, they have a lot of people using their product, but that doesn't mean we should also try to get testimonials and reviews as soon as possible for our product. And that was something I've been completely neglecting for Resume Photo AI. Didn't ask for a review even if people made the purchase and even if they were happy with the product. And before I made all these changes, I just sent out an email with the results of the headshots. But now when they click on the email, they will get to a dedicated page where they can review all of their images and, more importantly, leave a review for the product. And really, I think I should annoy people a little bit more with leaving a review, because if they are happy with the product, I'm pretty sure they are also happy to leave a review for us. When I land on a website, I instantly ask myself, will this work for me? And testimonials or social proof answers that pretty quickly. With no proof, there's not really a lot of trust. And with no trust, there's not a lot of signups. A quick shout out to today's sponsor, Cloudways, the hosting platform that I'm currently using to host my application Framia. The cool thing about Cloudways is you get the flexibility of a cloud hosting provider, but without the headaches of DevOps. So I can just SSH into my server and upload my project manually. So you can see I've already created my server here, and all I really have to do now is go to my project Framia and run npm run build. Now we have built our project, and all we really have to do now is run this one command. This will push everything we have in our dist folder to Cloudways. To get your password, we can go to our server, and under master credentials, we can use our password, enter it in here, and then we will start to upload our project. And once it's done, we can go back to our server, click on restart. And once the server has restarted, we can go to applications and then click on the button here to see Framea running on Cloudways. And yeah, if you're building anything with Vue or React, you can use Cloudways to host your project online. I've added the link in the description below if you want to check out Cloudways and support the channel. The second pattern is something I didn't really expect. Before I tell you what it actually is, let me show you one extreme example. This is a website that has launched, I think, like 2 years ago. And when I saw the product launch, I thought, man, this is a crazy looking landing page. Just look at the animations. You can even interact with those elements here on the side. You have a sun coming up from the background, and the scroll animations are just insane. And I thought, man, this is a great looking product. And now let's look at a website that looks like this. Pretty simple. You don't have a lot going on, no fancy animations. Okay, there's one animation for the logos, but apart from that, it's really pretty simple. You have a couple of images of the product, you have a nice layout overall, but the structure of the website is pretty straightforward. And you might be asking like, okay, why am I showing you this pretty simple basic website? It's because this is the same company. They have completely changed the website they have built a couple of years ago. And I instantly asked myself, why did they go from this cool looking website to a pretty simple standard looking template website? The reason can only be because the conversion was bad on the initial website. It was too much going on, people didn't understand the product, it was maybe bad on mobile, I don't know. I'm pretty confident that the first website was super expensive, and making this bold change says quite a lot. And that pretty much told me that the fancy looking websites with heavy animations, they often fail. And the simple and clean ones are actually the ones that are winning. And throughout my search, I have seen the patterns again and again. Simple headlines, simple call to actions with not a lot of options to do anything. I found a lot of websites that had like supercharge your productivity, and I was like, okay, but how? And then you've got 3 different call to actions on the same screen. Do I sign up? Do I book a demo? Learn more? I don't know. There are just too many options. And confusion is really deadly because when I'm confused, I don't do anything. I just leave the website. And a pretty wide example is also Crazy Egg. Look at the hero section. This is so easy to understand. You have the number of websites using their product. I can enter my URL and then give it a try right away. This is so straightforward. This is really a pretty great example of a clear, clean, easy to understand website. So what I did is I removed a lot of the navigation items I had on the landing page. I thought, yeah, people can then navigate and start to look at other pages, but honestly, there's no reason really to do this. And all the other elements are just distracting them from doing the one call to action. Make the purchase. Clarity doesn't mean short, it means to make the website obvious. Visitors should instantly know, what is this, why does it matter, and what do I do next? And every additional field, every additional form is killing momentum. The last pattern I found was actually pretty rare, but I think it's also one of the most powerful ones. Most landing pages start by bragging, we are number 1, we are the fastest, we are the best. But let's be real, the visitor doesn't care about you. They care about themselves. Here's an example where the headline basically screams, we are number 1. But what does it mean for me? As a user, I don't see my problem reflected here, and I don't see myself in the story. Like, I don't know what you do. The pattern I've seen on a few landing pages is that they flip the script basically. They don't talk a lot about themselves at the beginning. They actually put me, the user, first. To give you an example, you have probably seen the product. It's a boilerplate. I'm pretty much wasting all of these hours just to build something that I need anyways for pretty much any product. Another great example is Headshot Pro. They show you how it looks like with a physical photo shoot and with their product. It instantly shows like, okay, if I use the product, I save a ton of time again. And for everyone who has tried to book a photo shoot, they pretty much know, yeah, it's like this, I don't want that. So I took the idea and applied it to my product as well. I am talking about the opportunities you will lose because of a bad photo. With a bad picture, which is like their current state, they lose a lot of opportunities to land a new job. And here's a pretty clear before and after. A casual everyday look and a professional polished look afterwards. And I think this shows pretty well what our product does and which pain points we are solving. And I think this is pretty important to show like what is the current state of the user, what are they struggling with, and show me how the product is making a change in my life. And in this case, from a casual looking picture to a very professional looking headshot. I think the struggle to promise story is one of the best ways to communicate with your users, because they feel understood and you give them a good feeling about your product. So after I went into this rabbit hole to figure out how to improve my landing pages, I think Resume Photo got a pretty great upgrade. Now the headline is very clear, it tells you exactly what the product does. I added testimonials from real customers so there's proof it actually works. And I rewrote the copy so it speaks directly to the frustration of the customer. And to have a summary of the discoveries I made, it's pretty much trust makes me believe you, clarity makes me understand you, and empathy makes me feel like you understand me. And that's what turns a landing page from pretty to actually powerful. I hope you liked the video. I hope you can apply these patterns to your own websites with the examples I've shown you throughout the video. That's it from my side. See you in the next one. Bye. I obsess over building the perfect landing page. And after looking at 50 to 100 different sites, I realized something strange. Hi.